Okay, so look, if you're going to make another extraction shooter and you want people to play it, you're going to have to make it stand out. You really have to go that extra mile and do some crazy things to get people to play it anymore, because the market is flooding with extraction shooters very quickly. A new game announced the other night intends to do just that. At the Game Awards, a cinematic trailer was released for a new title called Exoborn, and while that was only a cinematic trailer and you really can't see a whole lot with that, I've got some extra details here that I want to share because the developers reached out and asked if they could sponsor a video just of me giving some more information on this, so I said, well yeah, of course. It's an extraction shooter, it's got the word tactical in their marketing, and I've got to buy my wife a nice Christmas present. So let's get into the details here. I want to start with what the game is, because while cinematic trailers are really cool, they really don't give us a whole lot to go off of. Like I said, the game has some very unique systems here. It actually sounds very crazy. Exoborn is a new PvEVP shooter set in a collapsing world. It's set here in the United States, and it sounds like things are going absolutely nuts. The game is being developed by Sharkmob, the same developers that brought you Bloodhunt, but something maybe a little bit different here. The original creators of The Division have been working on this project, so if anybody's got some real insight into the extraction shooters, it's this team. They're expecting to provide a quality AAA experience. Now, we don't have any release date or anything like that, but with 400 developers, hopefully the development of this game goes pretty quick. In the game, you take on a role of a survivor, fitted with an implant that enables them to use powerful exorigs. This is the exosuit that you see here in the trailer. These exorigs allow for differing playstyles and approaches to situations. For example, as you see in the trailer here, during the fight scene, you see things like a special shield or a knife or a grappling hook. Those types of things can be utilized depending on how you set up your exorig. These exorigs are also going to synergize in a certain way with the environment, which let's talk about the environment here. You see here in the trailer that there's a giant storm that passes through, and these two players are battling it out with each other. This storm is actually part of the unfolding of society and the gameplay. The weather in this game is going to be dynamic and have unique effects on the map, so it's unlikely that any two experiences will be the same, but there's things like heavy storms, there's these tornadoes here, and it looks like these weather anomalies are actually going to be affecting the man-made structures as well, so it may have a destructible environment, and that's a big W. And I think that right there, the idea of the storm, the idea of the changing weather, the dynamic situations, I think that's going to be the main selling point of this game. It certainly was a big interesting thing back when Battlefield 2042 showed it off, but it ended up not being all that game-changing. But with some of the special abilities that you might have with these exorigs and how the interactions there are going to be tied to the weather system, I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit different experience. I'm guessing that those storms are going to influence gameplay a whole lot more than what they did in Battlefield. You can also see this as the player flies down from the storm using his exorig, and I don't know if all the exorigs are going to have that or just a certain rig, not sure, but that's probably one of the ways that those exorigs adapt to the environment. But also to go along with this, in the trailer they start in a building and he's very, very high on this building, obviously shoots the windows out, which makes me think there's going to be a destructible environment, and then he flies way down. One of the things that they're really focusing on here is verticality. That's a big thing for Sharkmob, as Bloodhunt had a lot of verticality as well. They're hoping to do the same thing here. Not just worry about what's around you, but what's above you, what's below you, things like that. Now, one of the issues here is that games today often face a retention crisis. There's not enough to do. People are so quick to move on to the next thing that a very repetitive gameplay loop can get kind of dull. So in order to provide a worthwhile experience, the devs are planning on having long-term progression in the form of crafting gear, upgrading weapons, suits, customizing the way that your character looks, things like this. Now, how will this look as an extraction shooter? What's the game plan here? Are you going to find a lot of these things in the raid? Do you have to craft a lot more? We're just going to have to see here. We don't know, but the game plan is to keep you focused on that. Now, what's nice is that the game can be played as a solo gamer or in a team up to 3 players. There are vehicles, but we don't know a whole lot about those yet. We don't know how effective they are. We don't know if they're going to be like battle vehicles or something like that. That wasn't spoken of much. The game is set in the US of A, so already I like it. It's going to be on PC and consoles using the Unreal Engine 5 technology. Let's move on to a few questions that I have, though. I don't exactly have these answers, so I'm curious to find out in the future a few different things. First of all, what is the gameplay loop? What are we going to be going after? It looks like we're going to be going after this little keycard thing at the beginning of the trailer, but is that just going to be one part of the map, or is everybody flocking there? I think that's one of the things that extraction shooters need to nail a little bit better, at least for the casual gamers. everybody's got to flock to one location, and hopefully that's the case here. There could be little side quests and everything like that, but if you bring everybody on the map into one location, things are going to get spicy, and that's where things get fun. However, the fact that they use the PvEVP extraction shooter lingo, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be the case. If it's not the case, this may appeal to the more casual gamers. I want to do some co-op against the AI on the map with my friends, stuff like that. I suppose it could fit in nicely with either. And another thing we don't know is what they mean by tactical. Now, normally to me, this follows along the lines of being hardcore in the sense that it'll have a very low time to kill, but with exosuits and shields, I highly doubt it. That just screams a little bit higher time to kill. So I'm not exactly sure what they mean by tactical. But then again, there's no real definition of tactical when it comes to video games, so that remains to be seen. And that right there is about all we know, but a lot of it sounds pretty cool. I think if they get the weather dynamics right and the balance right when it comes to the weapons, which is a very hard thing to do if you're doing an extraction shooter, is this game going to have a wipe because things can get too unbalanced? These are all questions that I have. A lot of people, especially the consoles, are missing out on those extraction shooters because of the lack of AAA support, and this could possibly scratch that itch for them. We'll just have to see though. Again, we haven't seen any gameplay, but I'm expecting that somewhat soon. Check out the links down below to visit their socials and to check out the game, wishlist it. I'm going to be following along, and if anything else comes out, I'll try to inform you as quick as I can. What do you guys think though? I know extraction shooters are a dime a dozen, at least in the PC world, but the console world really isn't getting a whole lot of love there, so I'm really happy for them. This could be something that they enjoy. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a dislike. If you didn't, subscribe for more, and until the next one, be bold, be courageous, stay gray.